Yes guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. As you can see, away fan access. I'm the first away fan here. Thought I'd come and check it out. Point to where you guys, if you're coming to the game tomorrow, where we're all going to be going in the away end for Chelsea. This is my Chelsea versus Lille match preview. If you don't follow me on social media, then maybe you don't know about the ordeal that's gone on over the last 24 hours. I'll give you a bit of a lowdown now, and I'll show you the whole flipping thing when you see the match vlog, hopefully after the game tomorrow night, hopefully after 3 points. Obviously in this preview, we're going to go through my favoured lineup, who I think is going to start, who I want to start, but honestly, it's been a disaster trying to get here today. We got onto we got to the bus stop where we thought we were going to be taking a coach, and then turns out we didn't take the coach. I'll leave that there. If you follow me on Instagram or you've checked out the community post, you'll know we got scammed basically. So we're on a flipping ferry. Hurricane Lorenzo is a couple of days away, so the tide's a little bit mad, a little bit choppy on the boat, but we made it to Lille and here we are. The rain has just stopped, perfect timing during the last little bit of golden hour to talk about Lille versus Chelsea. This stadium behind me was built only 7 years ago. Well, it opened 7 years ago. It's called the Stade Pierre Mauray. It was designed by an architect called Pierre Ferret, or as it reads if we're saying it in English, Pierre Ferret, whichever one you want to go with. But you know, it's a pretty beautiful stadium. We kind of had a little drive going along the main road before we cut into park close to the stadium here, and it looks really, really nice. And I think under the lights, they've got like these coloured neon lights that go around the side. It's a beautiful stadium, 50,000 capacity, and Chelsea have actually sold out their away allocation. We've got about 2,600, 2,700 of us in there tomorrow, which is going to be fun. I've done a couple of Paris Saint-Germain aways in the past, which have always been crazy. French fans there, they're pretty loud. They like to sing. There's often like a north versus south battle between the home fans, which is going to be nice to be part of the minority amongst that tomorrow as an away fan, obviously not as a home fan. So this is obviously the away fans access. Going to show you guys a little bit more around the stadium and get into my Chelsea lineup for tomorrow. So this is a bit of a better view of the entire stadium behind me using a bit of a wide angle lens. Looks really nice. We're so lucky, honestly. The entire drive here just pouring with rain the whole flipping time. Even on the boat it was pouring with rain, which is not ideal. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about our opponents tomorrow, shall we? They lost their first game in the Champions League group 3-0 away at what everyone is calling a depleted Ajax this season after losing Frenkie de Jong, losing Matthias de Ligt. Everybody's looking at Lille in this group as the real underdogs, the team that no one's really expecting to really challenge for the automatic qualification places. Maybe if they're lucky they could scrape the Europa League. But after Lille lost to Ajax, their first home game this season in the Champions League, they're going to be looking for a win. And as for Chelsea, obviously our team, it's even more important for us tomorrow as a biased perspective to go for the win in this game. We didn't expect to lose to Valencia at home. I said it in my video about the Champions League when the draw first came out. The home games were going to be pivotal. They were going to be key for us, and we've already kind of thrown away what you could say is one of our free cards. So we're now going to have to come to what is going to be a tricky place. It's probably going to be a full stadium tomorrow, 50,000 of them. We're going to have to come here and get the win. And if we look at the Lille side, there are a couple of names that you might recognise in there. Jose Font, formerly of Southampton, who of course Chelsea have got this weekend, but they lost their star man last year, Nicolas Pepe. There's not really a world-class player in this Lille team anymore. So in terms of the best time to play them, it's much better that we're playing them this season than last season. They're currently 4th in the French league, which again is a Champions League place, so they're not a team that we can underestimate. And I think that maybe we underestimated Valencia a little bit as well, and we didn't create enough opportunities in that game, so therefore we didn't win it. I definitely feel as though whatever side Frank Lampard chooses to field, we should be expecting to come away from this stadium tomorrow night with all 3 points. I mean, I hope so anyway. It's been a blooming nightmare to get here, so if we don't win, I'm gonna be disappointed. But I'll let you into a little story that you might not know about. Slight detour from the preview. My last 2 European away games, we've lost 3-0. I mean, I hate to say it, I hate to jinx it, I hate to be that guy. I know you're gonna be annoyed at me right now. I get it. Went to Rome. I was stuck in blooming quarantine in Rome for 12 hours because I left my passport on the seat. The plane then went to Seville with my passport still on it, and then I didn't get it back for 12 hours, and a load of nonsense happened within the quarantine area in Rome. It was literally, I was locked in a room and I wasn't allowed to like drink. It was almost like my human rights were taken away from me. Barcelona away, we lost that one 3-0 as well. That was just a nightmare really, wasn't it? But we're back in the Champions League. I'm going to say that Lille is a slightly nicer prospect than a trip to Rome or a trip to Barcelona in terms of the opponent's footballing capabilities. But let's take a look at the Chelsea lineup that I'm going with tomorrow night. Starting, of course, with the one and only constant in my team this season. It's Kepa. I mean, it's just Kepa, isn't it, really? He's our keeper. Right back position. We're going to start on the right, move over to the left. I always do the left moving back. I'm going to start with Azpilicueta. I keep wanting to say Reece James, and Azpilicueta was the player who was doing the press conference with Lampard. I kind of feel like it's just let's just put Azpilicueta in there. He's the Chelsea captain, and I think in a European away game where it's a hostile atmosphere, it always is in Europe, we're going to need to have that experience on show tomorrow, and I keep bringing it back to this whole experience conversation. And as we take a look through the rest of the team, there's definitely going to be a good mixture in there between the young players and also the experience as well. Azpi starts for me. He's a captain. He's been here before in these European night situations, and for me, he's got to start tomorrow. Moving into the centre-back partnership, and I think that Christensen and Tomori, despite playing against Brighton only a couple of days ago, that partnership looked so solid against Brighton, and I would start them together. Maybe you could say that Zuma could come in there, but I wouldn't take Fikayo Tomori out of this team right now. I think he's playing so well, and as Frank said, first centre-back name on the team sheet, so I stick him in there, and I keep Christensen alongside him. Moving into the left-back position, going with 4 at the back, flat back 4, as much as I'd love to see Alonso as a wing-back. I think tomorrow we play it with 4 at the back. I think that it would enable us to be a little bit more aggressive going forward as we move into that in a second. Marcus Alonso, I actually thought he was decent against Brighton. I think the whole defence did themselves justice in that game, and I do expect Alonso to start at left back. Moving into the pivot, we're going with a 4-2-3-1 today. Kante trained, which that doesn't really mean anything for Chelsea fans right now. Kante trained, but it doesn't mean he's going to start. The way that this guy's luck is going with injuries right now, and I guess it's Kante's personal luck and also Chelsea's bad luck as well. He keeps getting injured, and day by day we don't really know whether he's going to be fit and ready to play in the next match for us. But Frank said in his press conference that he trained today and they think he should be okay, which doesn't mean that he's definitely going to start, but if he's okay in a must-win game in Europe, he's got to be in that team for me. Alongside him, it's the man with the best penalties in football. It's Jorginho. I know I've just made a bold statement there that a lot of neutral fans are going to disagree with, but Jorginho starts for me. I think he was the man of the match in the game against Brighton. I thought he was Chelsea's best player, and I think that, again, in this kind of game, you could start with Kovacic, who's obviously got incredible Champions League experience. The man hadn't lost a Champions League game for a bloody long time, till we were beaten at home to Valencia, so Kovacic could be a good option, and again, we could always see that 4-3-3 as opposed to a 4-2-3-1 with Kante, Jorginho and Kovacic in the midfield. I'm going to go with a pivot of Jorginho and Kante together, moving us forward, and I'm going to start Callum Hudson-Odoi in this one. I think he got minutes against Brighton, he got a full 90 minutes against Grimsby, and I think with his kind of pace and his skill, it's going to be very key for Chelsea winning this game. Lille play with quite a rigid back four, and I think Callum could have a field day in Europe, which in a Champions League tie, this is the perfect one to throw him into a Champions League away starting 11 for Chelsea. I start with Hudson-Odoi on the left, Mason Mount in the middle in his favoured number 10 position. We know that he prefers to play in the middle as opposed to out on the left-hand side, and with Callum now starting to show more and more fitness, he came on against Brighton, got the assist for Willian, stick Mason in the middle, and then put Pulisic on the right-hand side. Everybody in my video yesterday has been calling out for those three to be playing behind Tammy up front, and I think tomorrow we might just see that from Frank Lampard. Willian played 90 minutes in that game against Brighton. I don't think he came off, maybe I got that wrong. I don't think Pedro's going to play the full 90 as well. I genuinely feel like this is the perfect time for Pulisic to come in to answer whatever critics there are. I don't think I was critiquing Pulisic that much yesterday in my video. We won't talk about it. It's an 18-minute one. You should go and check it out if you haven't yet seen it. Pulisic, Mount and Hudson-Odoi behind Tammy Abraham up front. I think he's cemented himself as Chelsea's #1 striker. People might say there's been a few iffy performances. His one-on-one finishing against Brighton wasn't perfect, but we've got to remember that despite this guy being the second top scorer in the Premier League right now, he's made a very good start to the season, and I think the confidence that Frank has got in him, stick him out there tomorrow night for his Champions League away debut in France. Michy Batshuayi and Olivier Giroud can come off the bench. Got that little French connection in there. Olivier Giroud can come on. He knows how to play against French opposition. That would be nice, wouldn't it, to see Giroud come off the bench and get the winner, or maybe the fourth after we're 3-0 up. It could be ideal. Also, Reece James tomorrow, maybe coming on. I'd like to see him make his Champions League debut, but I think Azpilicueta will start the game. But anyway, that has been my team to face Lille. I'm hoping that after the hardship we've taken to get here, Chelsea can get the 3 points tomorrow, Gonna make a bold prediction. Gonna say a 3-1 away win, which would be absolutely incredible. The key tomorrow is 3 points. A draw, and we start to worry because we don't want to be dropping out into the Europa League. It is essential, whether it's second or if we can still get first, it is essential that Chelsea qualify from this Champions League group. The result against Valencia, we cannot have that any longer. We need to come here tomorrow, get the 3 points, take Lille back to Stamford Bridge in a few weeks' time, beat them there. And I still believe, and I know I might be a bit crazy after the Valencia defeat, I still think we can win this group. I think we can win all of the remaining games. We're getting better week on week, game by game. We're looking like a stronger outfit. And even Paul Merson is saying great things about us today. He thinks Chelsea could be winning the league in the next 3 years. So taking all of that into account, not that that really means anything in this kind of fixture, I think we're going to get the win tomorrow. Nice stadium. We've still got a bit of daylight as well. I'm going to sign out the video here. Thank you to Lawrence behind the camera, who has been doing a wonderful job. We've managed to make it to Lille. Tomorrow is going to be a match vlog. It might be out really late, but make sure you stay up because we're going to make it special. There's been issues, but we can always get over that, you know? Life is just a bunch of hurdles and our job is to jump over them all and enjoy ourselves day by day. But anyway, enough philosophy for one moment. I will catch you all later. Goodbye.